Hi, welcome back to Infinite Lifetime Sutra. I'm Angelina. Yeah, last week I was too busy. I have changed to a new job, so it consumes a little bit more of my time, and that's why I had to skip the previous week. There was an event, so being new at the job, I had to pick up, you know, downloading whatever that uh, my predecessor has already left the company. So there was this consultant, so she is teaching me based on her experience with the company as well as her own experience previously as a PR consultant. So a lot of things to learn, a lot of things going on. That's why by the time I finished my job in the evenings and during the weekend, I was too tired to go on, and that's why I had to skip last week's video. But yeah, oh yeah, my hair. Yeah, I'm cutting it shorter and shorter because when you cut short hair, then the best thing you feel is actually that it's so cool. The weather is so hot outside there. So having this really, really short hair feels really comfortable. Okay, so we continue. This episode today will actually conclude the first part, the chapter 2 of our Infinite Lifetime Sutra. So let's look at the stance. Okay, C 或诸佛无量功德，智慧圣明不可思议，如是等诸大菩萨，无量无边一时来集。又有比丘尼500人，清心士7000人，清信女500人，欲界天、色界天、诸天放众，悉共大会。Okay, this one is actually telling us, right? The first part, the first few phrases was actually explaining about the great Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, especially the Bodhisattvas who attended this talk by our Lord Sakyamuni Buddha about the Infinite Lifetime Sutra about Pure Land Buddhism. Okay, the Infinite Lifetime Sutra is the name that we have given. All right, 无量寿经 is the name that was given to this sharing by the Buddha. Okay, the entire sutra itself is actually sharing about Amitabha's Pure Land, how wonderful it is, how beautiful it is, and how do we get there. Okay, because technically it is not really that difficult to get there. But in practice, okay, the theory part of it is not difficult. But in practice, when you're actually trying to do based on what the sutra is telling you to do, it is going to be quite a challenge, especially now in our society. Okay, for the longest of time, I have always hoped that I can just live a very simple life, right? When I was in my early 20s, I wanted to become a nun and then to, just deepen my studies of Buddhism and then not be bothered about the entire world. But my because you need parental consent when you want to enter into monkhood or become a bhikkhuni, okay? A bhikkhu, bhikkhuni. So my mom objected. She was very, her objection was strong. So there was no negotiation, and that's why I couldn't become a nun. But since I couldn't become a nun, then I cannot be, going into the what if situation. And that's why I had to live my life. And it did take me a little bit longer because if I had gone into become a nun, then I would have gone straight into the sutras and probably be able to find the Infinite Lifetime Sutra a lot sooner than I have now. But still, there is no regret and there's also no turning back. And I'm glad that whatever I have gone through in this life, throughout my early half a century. Yeah, I'm 50, right? This year, um, 2025 marks 49 years. Okay, so almost half a century old, and it is still considered young, right? So there's much to be learned and there's much to catch up if I want to be reborn in Pure Land within this lifetime. Okay, let's look at this. who are all these people? Why is it that they say that it is 不可思议? Okay, 不可思议 over here. 不可思议 is like extraordinary. Okay, what is so extraordinary about this? Okay, the extraordinary thing about the bodhisattvas that we're talking about here that attended the Infinite Lifetime Sutra talk during our Lord Sakyamuni Buddha's time was that the wisdom that they have is extraordinary. Okay, it is as if they are equivalent to the Buddha, and then it is also even the miracles that they can perform. Okay, the feat that they can perform are also extraordinary, right? Extraordinary in the sense that there is no human language that can actually tell you exactly the description to the depth of their wisdom. Okay, our mere words, our human words, just cannot really explain it properly. Our human words are only be able to perhaps scratch the surface because it has to be experienced. Okay, the wisdom that they have can only be known by those who have also achieved to that level, and to be able to experience exactly what they're talking about, to be able to understand exactly what they understand. Okay, like theoretically I can share that, oh, they are able to understand that all are one and we are all one with each other, you and I are one with each other, but this is theory. Okay, a lot of times it is like those that you learn in your science class. Okay, the textbooks that you learn from your science class, but you need to go into the experiments, you need to look at it, see for yourself, then only you'll be able to realize that, oh, so this is what that is meant in the sutras, right? So there are also those times when you're talking about the Maitreya Buddha, for example. Later part of this sutra is just telling us, like within a snap of a finger, how many thought moments have already gone in. So in terms of science, we're talking about the neurons inside our heads that behave like electrodes, right? So the electrical pulse that will send the messages, they are so intense, so fast, so vast, so quick and so vast that within a single second, like how many of these messages have already floated around within our head within a single second. And then at the same time also we're talking about I think it was Samatha Bhadra Bodhisattva, right? He's able to go into a Buddha world so small without himself becoming small, and he's able to go to another world, another Buddha world so big, but he did not make himself into a giant. Okay, but yet he still behaves as if we're the same. Okay, it's like if he were to come to our world. Okay, let's say the bodhisattvas manifest before us. Okay, in our very existence, what you can see is probably they are about like 6 feet tall. Okay, so among us also there are people who are 6 feet tall, and it's like they will try to look just like us. Okay, because when they try to change it so that they look any different, then we will know that they are different. Okay, but a lot of times when they manifest, they are here to help us, right? So when they manifest and they're here to help us, they don't become any bigger, they don't become any small, they're just as is. Okay, they are just following what our norm is over here, right, in this current world itself. So when we see them, we do not even think that they are not humans, not normal humans. We might not even realize that they are actually the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who have manifested themselves. But whenever they do manifest, they actually come here to help us. Okay, help us to understand anything at all. Okay, giving us a lesson so that we will be able to learn a lesson from those incidences, from those examples, for us to be able to let go of everything that we hold on to too dearly in this world. Um, I'll say a lot of people now they are not able to let go because there's too much inside their minds. How do we know how it is, right? How much do we hold on to? Okay, I don't know if you'll have that kind of experience. Okay, like for example, for the past few, when I was in the previous jobs, I let go very easily. Okay, I don't hold on to any of those things. So in my sleep, I don't dream about my work. I don't dream about my job. I don't dream much about what's going on in my daily life. But when I'm now in this new job, okay, because it was so intense, it was too intense, in fact. Um, because the moment I went in, there was this project where there were three companies signing an MOU with the place that I'm working. Okay, I'm working for a private university. So three companies signing at the same time, and these three are actually like quite renowned companies, right? So when there are three like this, and then the university also have the board of governors, they have all these VVIPs, so it has all the protocols because some of these VVIPs, the background had come from political background in the past, okay, before they quit their political background, okay. So all the protocols are so important, especially when it's an education. If you're to talk about just a normal tuition class, okay, then whatever. But if you're talking about the a university, okay, where you have the chancellor, the vice chancellor, pro chancellor, and whatever that you can think of with the board of governors, you have all kinds of things, okay. So naturally, all these people they are really prestigious people, people of high ranks. So there is a lot of protocols and there is a lot of rules, but I feel blessed because a lot of these VVIPs they just think that okay, protocol there is, but let's keep it casual as well. So there are a lot of things that we have managed to keep it casual, and a lot of things that because of corporates, the companies, right now, like in where I'm staying, the companies they have a lot of all these events as well, but it is more informal. All right, when we're talking about the signing of the MOUs, yes, there'll be the photo op, there'll also be like the journalism and everything, right? The press release and whatnot. Some don't even have a press release. But it's just that they just you know sign it up, take photos, and then after they post it on the social media so that people know, and that's it. A lot of times they just do it this way because it's just to simplify, it's just to make things easier for everyone, without heavy protocols and whatever. But for university, it's a different story. You need to have that kind of protocols because you need to be able to show that it is not, you're not just playing. You need to have that just to show that you are an institution of discipline and of care, right? So that's why when I was before that project happened, before that ceremony happened, for past 2 nights at least, I was dreaming about those things that happened in the company. Okay, at the university, it's like the recalibration of my the defragmentation of my mind was really heavily lopsided to that. I didn't have time to pray. I didn't have time to chant Amitabha. I didn't have time for even making videos to share the Infinite Lifetime Sutra with you guys. So yeah, I always thought that I wanted a simpler life, okay? But I was not able to do so, and in fact, my karma is actually bringing me to different kind of contexts, allowing me to meet with different people, allowing me to, work with different groups of people who are seen by the society as VIPs, meet with a lot of great people, and then to be able to learn from them. There's a lot of learning to do, because for me, um, a lot of times when we're talking about work, right? There's a lot for me to learn still, despite having 20 over years of experience. I can do all those things like make the arrangements and everything. It can be really flawless. I know how to make reservations. I know how to conduct events that are meant for, you know, VIP guests, right? How to make it simple for the normal employees, how to make it somewhat more prestigious for the um, guests of honor, guests from other companies, But when we're talking about, all these protocols and everything, that is actually to a different level. And in fact, protocol is going to be important for me if I were to look at it from a context of this what I'm doing right now. Like for example, yeah, each time when I talk to you about Amitabha, it is like very casual, right? Because Amitabha he himself is very casual, because he himself is, as long as you chant Amitabha, as long as you follow the rules and don't go against the rules, then it's already fine. But there are a lot of layers, okay, a lot of different categories, I'll say different levels. Okay, so these Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas that actually come to the Sakyamuni Buddha's talk about the Infinite Lifetime Sutra, their level of being a Bodhisattva is very high. Okay, so they deserve all the kind of respect, because all these are just like similar ranks to our Avalokitesvara, Guanxin Pusa, similar ranks to our um, Samatabhadra Bodhisattva Pusin Pusa, similar ranks to our Shittikapa Bodhisattva or Dijangwan Pusa. Okay, all of them are really wonderful. Okay, all the miraculous feats that they can do, the supernatural powers that they possess, and they are able to see, like the arhants, they are able to see, like, if not mistaken, like 500 lifetimes or something. But the Buddha can see beyond the 500 lifetimes, and then these Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, they can also see beyond 500 lifetimes. So when they come and help us, okay, it's because they're able to see our past karma, that um everything that is going to help us shape who we are upon the experience that they are preparing for us, for example. Okay, so there are a lot of all these different levels, things that are so extraordinary, you just cannot describe it with words. The human vocabulary that we have today, no matter how sophisticated, it just cannot explain what they have, what they um I will say that the wisdom within them. Okay, we are not able to describe it, because any description that have words will just not be able to label it properly. Okay, because somehow, if you were to look at like the Jingang Jing, okay, the Diamond Sutra, if you look at Jingang Jing, the the Bodhisattva who is himself a Bodhisattva will not even mention that he's a Bodhisattva. Okay, will not even claim that he's a Bodhisattva, because the more you are, okay, the need to even say you are is just not there, because of the as is. Okay, how do we describe that? Like for example, in the Diamond Sutra, it says that if, let's say, the first level of sainthood, okay, Sotapanna, the moment a Sotapanna has attained his or her level as a Sotapanna, will not describe himself or herself as a Sotapanna. Okay, therefore he is a Sotapanna. All right, it's like you have actually transcended, you have entered into that stream. Okay, you are inside the stream, so you will not need to describe, to even say that you're inside the stream. Okay, it's like you are, yeah, like the stream. If you stand right in the middle of your living room, for example, okay, if you stand in the middle of the living room and then you know that you are in the middle of your living room, people will just have to see and then to know that you're in the middle of the living room, and you won't need to say that I am in the middle of the living room. Okay, you won't even need to say that because you are already in the middle of the living room, something like that. Okay, but there are those who have not achieved anything and then they try to tell people that they've already achieved it. Okay, because to them, if they were, some of them will think that if I were to declare that I'm already there, then people will look at me and say that, oh, he is there, and start to glorify me, right? So this is the situation in our world today. A lot of people, they have been sidelined from any promotions or any recognitions just because they don't speak up about their achievements. Okay, in when you look at certain companies, those who are outspoken and always telling people what they have achieved may are those people who are, when they're so vocal, then the bosses see them, because some corporations are just too big and the bosses may not realize that they are doing so many things. Okay, but when somebody just comes out and say that, oh, I'm doing this, then they think that, oh, this person is really working, right? But actually what this person is doing is just declaring, telling people that he's doing that many things. But for those who are already doing those things, they are not describing it because they are just so busy doing, so they don't have the time to just go and stop and talk and tell people what they're doing, but they are really already doing. Okay, so this is the difference. When they don't say it out, but they are already doing it, you know they are already doing it. But those people who just stop and say and tell people, just make people aware that, hey, look at me, I'm actually doing it, they're actually not doing it, right? Because they're so busy crafting the story to tell people that they're doing it. Okay, so that's why they are not really doing it. But this is not a choice. Okay, the world today is such that people don't get promoted by credit of doing the work and exceeding the expectations of the work. Okay, a lot of times now the credit is on whether the person has a presentation skill, whether the person is actually able to convey the story, that what they're doing, just verbalize it for other people to see that they're actually doing it. Okay, the world has become so superficial. you know it's like, for example, like, um yeah, the CEO of a company, right, might not be doing his job. Okay, but because he's so active on his social media, and then after that saying so many things that he has done so many achievements, so people, they don't see those who are working behind the scenes, then they think that, oh, glorify this guy, so brilliant, he has done so many things. But the credit is actually those people who are doing it at the back. But those people doing it at the back, they are not describing it to the people in the front. The people can't see. So he was able to just, become that loudspeaker to tell people that they have done so much. So people thought that he was the one who has done so much. Okay, so that is the difference with the world today. It is so superficial, especially when you're talking about social media. It is so superficial. Okay, that's why you see I'm actually reducing all my social media hours. I don't even bother. My Facebook, my original Facebook, has almost 5,000 people in it, right, accumulated over the years, and then those who come and go, and some were actually the early ones who actually became friends, and we're really like interacting with each other, even though they're at different parts of the world. That was the past. Okay, that was the past. Nowadays people just, they see that you are outspoken, they just follow you because they think that you're brilliant, you're outspoken, and then, but actually you're not doing anything. Okay, they just became your fan just because you say things almost like mindlessly. Okay, so it's actually very disappointing. So uh I reduce all my social media hours are reduced. All my online time, especially now with this new job, I don't even have time for my online shopping. mm. The online shopping app can actually play some games, and then I can accumulate a lot of vouchers and a lot of coins, okay, tokens, for me to offset some of the payments. That's why I'll have a lot of discounts and things like this. I don't even have time for all those things anymore. And you see, my hair is being cut shorter and shorter and shorter because I really don't have time to do much of a housekeeping, even to my own looks. Okay, so when we're talking about all these things, right, their achievements are really so high, and only the superior, that is the Buddhas, will be able to tell us to praise how much they have achieved. Okay, but they won't tell us by themselves. They will not praise themselves. They're not like our superficial world now, where people will actually self praise. Okay, they call it self appreciation, or they call it self whatever. Okay, but they will self praise. The Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas will not do that. So, other than the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, there are also other people like the 比丘尼500人、清心女、500人、欲界天、世界天. Okay, all these are actually descriptions. Description of 比丘尼 is bhikkhuni. Okay, the female, the nuns. Okay, 清心室 is the male disciples, lay disciples. 清心女 is the female disciples, like me. Okay, at home, we're practicing at home. We don't get to wear the robes on a daily basis. We don't stay in the monastery. Okay, we don't rely on other people's donations to the temple for us to eat, for us to clothe ourselves. Okay, we don't rely on those things. Okay, and then there's also 欲界天、世界天、诸天凡所喜功大会. So all these things we're talking about, the heavenly worlds, those people from the different heavenly worlds, are they extraordinary? Okay, for me they are extraordinary because the karma is able to bring them, to lead them to be able to attend this congregation. This Dhamma talk itself is by itself already an extraordinary thing to happen. And at the same time also, we see that there is, right from the start, we look at the audience of this Infinite Lifetime Sutra, okay, of this Dhamma talk being delivered by our Lord Sakyamuni Buddha. Okay, there was the future Buddha Maitreya. There were the Bodhisattvas, Samattabhadra Bodhisattva, Manjusri Bodhisattva. Okay, and then there were the congregation of the great arhants. Okay, those who have achieved, like the Sariputta and the Moggallana. If you look at the Theravada Buddhism, right, Moggallana is the one with the utmost in the supernatural power achievements. Okay, and then Sariputta is utmost in his wisdom. All right, so and then there was also the Venerable Ananda, who memorized what the Buddha said in this talk. That's why we have the fortune to be able to get this copy of translated ones. Okay, so Venerable Ananda attended, and then he was there and he absorbed every single thing that the Buddha taught. And then during the time after our Lord Buddha's parinibbana from this present world, right, he and 500 other arhants actually sat together and they ran through all the notes that he was giving them, and then they put it into writing, okay, in Sanskrit, in Pali language, and then it get transferred, okay, with the monks making translation. So we have the fortune of being able to read it in Chinese today, and hopefully one day there will be a more accurate English translation. But it's not going to be an easy thing. Okay, it's not going to be an easy thing. The translations that we have today is very literal. Okay, they try to make it like an art form. Okay, no choice. I'll say no choice, because this was actually written in classical Chinese. So when you're talking about classical Chinese, then automatically when you're a translator, you will want to translate it into an art form. And when you translate it into an art form, into another language, like in English language, for example, the vocabulary depth is already not there. Okay, it's hard to have a word for word kind of translation. Even in my description over here, you will see that in my talks here in English, a lot of times there are some things that are written in Chinese and then I need to use paragraphs to describe it. I know we were talking about 大地菩萨, the bodhisattva of the 8th level. So what is the 8th level? And then after that there's also 阿拉耶识. So 阿拉耶, what is 阿拉耶? 阿拉耶 is, you can describe it as our mundane world, our world that has the matter. But all these things, they are from the old language. In Chinese, you're able to just, translate it literally with just the sound of it, and then you put a meaning to it. But in English, if you're going to describe it, it's not going to be so easily done. Okay, because there is no actual equivalent when it comes to the different languages. So that's why. Okay, but back to this topic. Overall, for me, all these people, they are extraordinary. Okay, for me, because they are the bhikkhus and the bhikkhunis, right? They are able to become the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis. They are able to have that good fortune of being ordained as monks or nuns, and they are able to have that fortune, that karmic energy that brings them into this very Dharma talk itself. Okay, at the time when our Lord Sakyamuni Buddha was actually there, it is a very rare occasion. Okay, so the great karma that they have enabled them this good event where they benefit upon the completion of this Dharma talk. They, at a minimum, they become also the Dhamanya, okay, first level of sainthood. And there are also those who actually have also made their vow to go to Western Pure Land. Okay, so yeah, a lot of things going on even within this sutra itself. Right, 32 minutes. Okay, so for today, I'm not going to go into such great lengths in this Dhamma talk, because this one is like just an introduction. Right, in our next video, it will be 大教缘起第三. Okay, 大教缘起第三. That is when, okay, that is when Ananda asked the question on our behalf after seeing how our Lord Buddha behaved during that day. Okay, what did our Lord Buddha do during that day that prompted this question by Ananda? And this question said by Ananda to the Sakyamuni Buddha was praised by the Buddha himself, because according to the Buddha, this question has allowed the start of this Infinite Lifetime Sutra, which will become the basis for all future beings to become a Buddha. Okay, like now, if we were to look at this right now, okay, the great masters, they have already revealed that they don't see anyone achieving to become a Buddha within one lifetime in any other Buddhism sect. How many Buddhism sects are there? A lot, countless in fact, and in the sutras they will describe it as 84,000. Okay, 84,000 different practices to suit our different temperaments, our different preferences. I myself have already experienced like how many of them? right? But right to the end, right now, I'm only concerned about Pure Land Buddhism, because Pure Land Buddhism is the only route now and in the future where upon practice you will still have a chance to become a Buddha within a single lifetime. That means that's the achievement. Okay, it's a solid achievement. This is the only route. Okay, so that's why it is extraordinary and it has such great merits. Okay, so in the next episode we will talk about that. I don't think the next episode will be on this Thursday though, because I didn't have time to do the recording at this moment, right? So I'll continue. Hopefully next week, next Saturday, I will have time to be able to do 2 episodes. Otherwise, you all still be um due to my difficulties. Then you all will only be able to get 1 episode. Okay, so we shall end today's talk, and thank you very much for watching. Until we meet again, take good care of yourself and chant Amitabha, okay? Amitabha.